Hey guys, welcome to the Superherocuts podcast, where we talk about things Marvel, DC, and Star Wars. It's your boy Stevie Hayes, joined by the one and the only Jerry. Brother, how are you today?
I'm great, bro. It is a party in the USA. How are you?
Good, man. Good. So we didn't record Tuesday because it was my birthday, so we took the day off. But obviously, after what happened with X-Men '97 and the news that we got this week, obviously we're gonna address that and talk about it. So we're happy to be here. We have a pretty filled docket for you guys as well. There's a lot that Jerry and I have just been texting about these past few days, and I think we have a lot to talk about. Just saying, we have a lot of stuff to talk about for you guys today. Hungry Almighty, thank you, my guy. Appreciate you, bro. Let's get it. Okay, now let's get right to business because you and I were texting about this last week. So Giancarlo, okay, so Giancarlo has a secret role in the MCU, and I'm gonna read the quote that he said. He said this: "I cannot promise you it'll be Professor X because here's what I think. I think that there's something about being original. We've seen different versions of Professor X. Wouldn't you like to see me play a character in a Marvel movie who is original and new and fresh? So mark my words, this will happen sooner than you think." So obviously, you and I talked about this offline. So um, I'll go first. So I think that Giancarlo is going to be Kang. That's what I think he's going to be. I think he's the perfect role to play somebody like King. We've seen him as Moth in the freaking Mandalorian. He was menacing, and he has the voice for it. He has the acting. He's capable to act in multiple roles. Like this is like the closest thing to Denzel that we'll get if we're talking about a really strong actor that can to take King. Jerry, who do you think he's going to be?
I think it's Kang. And the reason I think it's Kang is, first of all, props to Stevie. Great call. This was Stevie's idea. But the reason I agree with Stevie is because he said that we're going to be seeing him sooner rather than later. We don't know when we're seeing Professor X, but I don't think that Professor X is coming as soon as a lot of other people do. Number one, if you've been watching the show for a while, you know that I strongly believe once the X-Men come, it's going to be the X-Men show. There's too many of them. They're all so significant. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And we know that Avengers 5 is still Kang. And they need Kang to come a lot sooner than Professor X. And I just think that Giancarlo Esposito is the perfect casting for Kang. So I think it's Kang.
100%. I 100% agree with that, and I would love for him to pop up ASAP. I mean,
Mhm.
if they're announcing him at Comic Con, I expect him to pop up in freaking Deadpool. That's the way I feel. I mean, like it can be that seamless because I think he's that great of an actor. Um, and I mean, and a lot of people said Doctor Doom, and we're gonna talk about who is rumored to be in the running for Doctor Doom. I don't like Giancarlo is amazing. I don't want him to play Doctor Doom. I think you need someone younger to play that Doom role because remember, guys, we have to have someone to go at Pedro Pascal that's around that same age. So I do expect a younger, more what I mean, more vibrant,
Yeah.
I guess, male to take the role of Doctor Doom because I did hear a lot of people thinking that Giancarlo is going to be Doctor Doom. So yeah, I am all on the Kang train. And I'm saying he's Kang, he's the Beyonder. I think he's all of them. That's what I think.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't think that Giancarlo is going to be Kang and the Beyonder. I think that he's going to be Kang.
Okay.
Um,
Bet. Okay. So yeah. So when would you want to see him come into the MCU? Are you on the ASAP train, or would you want him to come in Brave New World at the end of Brave New World? Like when? What project would you want him to come into?
the sooner the better. The one thing I don't, I'm kind of torn because I don't know how I feel about Kang being in Deadpool and Wolverine because I just don't think that Number one, I think Cassandra Cain is a big enough villain for this movie.
Cassandra Nova.
Cassandra Nova. Yeah. I went black there for a second. But
I was like, yo, bro, start with a DC.
yeah. Anyway, but I also don't think Kang is the right villain for Deadpool and Wolverine in Deadpool and Wolverine because I think this is the end of the line for Deadpool, and I think it's a one-off for Wolverine. So I just don't think Kang is a good villain for characters that aren't going to be sticking around in the MCU. And as much as I want to see Kang is one of my favorite villains. I'm dying to see Kang. I don't think it's the right move to put him in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Do you think that Giancarlo is like? Do you think they're going to brand him as like the older Jonathan Majors?
I don't. I think that.
Or do you think they're just going to act like it's just a seamless like change?
Yeah, I think they're going to act like it's a seamless change. I think that.
Yeah.
I think that's
I hope so.
I think everyone's looking for a way that they explain it. Like, listen, when we get a new James Bond, they don't explain it. When we get, they didn't explain how Robert Pattinson became Batman, and yes, it's the same universe. It's a little different, but there doesn't need to be an explanation. Everyone knows it's the same character and it's a different actor. And I think that, I think it would be a waste of bandwidth to focus on that.
I agree. Marvel needs to simplify. And from what, Sean Levy and them were talking about, it seems like they are going to go supply. By the way, quick off topic. Do you think that Sean Levy, because it seems like him and Kevin Feige got along very well.
Is it Levy or Levy? I'm pretty sure it's Levy.
Levy, whatever his name is. It seems like him and Kevin are getting along pretty well after him directing Deadpool. I wouldn't be shocked if he might get a crack at the Avengers.
Interesting. Yeah, it's possible. Listen, I think that he has a pretty successful filmography. Like, this is a guy that has done some pretty big blockbusters. I mean, I'm looking at the list right now. He has done Big Fat Liar. He's done Real Steel. He's done Night at the Museum. Yeah. And he did The Atom Project. He did Free Guy. He did Night at the Museum. I mean,
he's got
this
bangers.
Guy, you'd be hard pressed to find a movie in his filmography that hasn't been a blockbuster success. So, I mean, listen, I know we're always looking for directors that have successful comic book movies, but I want to throw something out there. Sometimes it's good to bring someone that's an outsider. Sometimes you need an outsider to get a fresh perspective on things.
Yep.
And to do things a little differently. And I know, I work in a very entrepreneurial role in financial services. And, sometimes bringing in outside counsel for things, you get a fresh perspective.
Yeah, exactly. And he's done so much with Deadpool. You know what I mean? So, I really think he would be the perfect guy to take a crack at the Avengers. I mean, think about the Russos. Before Winter Soldier, they did comedy shows. Like, they did comedy TV shows with like Chris Pratt, Yeah. And so I think that Sean Levy could do something very special. And I think that this will also stretch him as a director as well. So pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
All right. Now,
by the way, and I know that he's not. I actually think this is the kind of guy that they could have used for the Fantastic Four.
100%. Okay, now let's get into the Galactus cast. So this actually came out like an hour before we even hopped on the pod. So let me read this off to you guys. Okay, so Ralph Ineson has officially been cast as Galactus in the Fantastic Four. Now, excuse me. I did not know who this guy was. Just being honest. his face seems very familiar. And I was looking at his discography. I mean, he has been in some films that I've seen before, but his face just doesn't come on me. I thought he was in Game of Thrones, but he's not.
You know what I thought he looked like? I thought he looked like either one of the bad guys from Mission Impossible 2 or the main villain from Home Alone 3, which is crazy. I still remember what the villain from Home Alone 3
That's
looks
crazy.
like because I haven't seen that movie since I had it on VHS as a kid.
Dang. So, but dude, so I freaking was trying to find like a YouTube just to hear him talk. Bro, his voice is super deep.
Yeah, I know. You sent it to me.
It's super like crazy.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
you can't have Galactus with some guy with a high pitched voice.
Yeah, and I know Liam Neeson was like in the running. I wouldn't be able to take him serious. I'm sorry, I just can't. Like his voice is too trademarked. This guy's voice is just super deep, and I think that's going to be perfect when we're talking about seeing one of the most powerful celestials ever. So I think this guy is going to knock it out of the park. I don't think Galactus is really a hard role to land because if you have the voice, you're going to be pretty much CGI'd anyway. So I'm very excited to see Galactus in this. And Comic-Con is approaching, so I really want to see this fantastic cast lineup. And we need to see a freaking teaser for this. I also heard that they might be posting something, bro, with Sue Storm for Mother's Day.
Wow. That would be pretty crazy. I would love to see something from Fantastic Four.
I need to see the costumes, bro. We need to see these costumes, man. And I need to see how Pedro Pascal's going to look as Reed. I need to be sold. I really need to be sold on that look.
They need to knock that out of the park. They really need to win me over on that.
Yeah, exactly. And I have hope because I really think Shackman hit out because Scarlet Witch's costume at the end of that show is fire. I love the freaking red. I like what they did with a White Vision also. Like I think those designs are dope. So I hope that we get something similar, like something that's simplistic but also poppy at the same time. I hope that we get something cool like that. Like you don't have to go super hard when it comes to the Fantastic Four suits. So all right. Hungry Almighty said, "Do you guys think Galactus will survive the incursion, or he's not, and the MCU 199999 have their own Galactus that they will introduce later?" What do you think, Jerry?
I don't think they are going to kill Galactus off until it's time to kill Galactus off. I don't think that we're going to see Galactus get, and if they do it, I don't think they're going to bring him back. So, listen, we've seen them waste villains before, and I don't think it's off the table because ultimately, I don't think the priority for Fantastic Four is to keep Galactus around. As much as I hope that they do, I think that the priority is to tell a successful story and establish the Fantastic Four within the MCU and the movie to be well received, because I think they're worried with the Fantastic Four. And not to say that they're not confident, but I think that there's a concern with Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios because no one has ever successfully won, a well-received Fantastic Four movie. And I think that they are going to prioritize this movie being well received at any cost necessary. And if they think that part of that cost is to kill Galactus off in that movie, I think it'll happen. But if they do kill Galactus, I don't think they're going to bring back Galactus because we're going into Secret Wars. Galactus doesn't necessarily need to be a big character in Secret Wars. So I just don't think that, I don't think Galactus is going to be one of the people brought back in Secret Wars if he's killed off in Fantastic Four.
Yeah. So I disagree partly because I don't because like I am torn between I really don't think he's going to die and if he does, they've already built the Celestials with the like already in the MCU that Galactus is somewhere. You know what I mean? And I could see the thought of them doing like a multiversal, because there are comic book runs where someone like was really going around trying to kill like every Galactus in their universe. So I mean,
Yes and no,
so
because
I can see them pulling that card.
but here's the thing. Number one, like I said, Galactus is not a big player in Secret Wars. Number two, I am so tired of the excuse. Well, it's the multiverse, so like we could bring him back. Like it's so cheap to me. It's so cheap. That's that Jay Oliva BS, and I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean,
By the way,
yeah. Go ahead.
he caught some shots from me on X the other day. I actually should repost it and tag him.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I think that I
I
don't
shouldn't do that right now.
I don't really think using the multiverse thing for Galactus is annoying. Like I'm pretty excited
Because he's a big
to see him.
character.
Yeah, and like you're gonna need him for the future of the MCU. I mean, and what if Thor 5 is about Thor? I mean, what if in Thor 5 in the end dude becomes a herald of freaking Galactus or something? I mean, like you never know what can happen. So I think it's best not to kill off Galactus, or what if the TVA or Kang pushes Galactus to our universe? I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of decisions that they could do with that, but we shall see. What would be cool is, since this is the multiverse saga, maybe at the end Reed meets the Council of Reeds and two of Reeds. Okay, Comic Cuts talked about this about a couple of talk for him. The Council of Reeds should not be touched right now at all. We don't need the Council of Reeds.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, I like the Council of Reeds, but I don't think it makes sense for the story right now.
It's too soon.
It's too soon. It's too complicated. They need to be successful with the Fantastic Four. They can't be telling these like. Here's the way I see it. If you're going to buy your first Reed Richards action figure, are you going to get the kind with the bag over his head, or are you going to get the regular Reed Richards? Don't go crazy special edition. Go classic.
100%. And I think that like right now, what we have is fine. Look, you casted a guy like Pedro Pascal, who was successful, right? Let him do his thing, and let us earn the Council of Reeds. Like let us earn that. I think that's something that could happen maybe in a fourth or fifth movie, in my opinion. So, all right, let's get to X-Men 97. Okay, so X-Men 97, the episode. I want to talk about the episode ending. So, if you don't know what happened at the end of actually, let's talk about the whole episode, not just the ending, because there was a lot that happened. Number one, Magneto went back to his regular costume, which is insane. Okay, and Magneto looks amazing per usual. Professor X was back. Cyclops was blaming him for, like, why did you give Magneto the school? Which all of us were thinking that, like, why would you do that? Magneto thinks that he walked Professor X's path, even though he was a good guy for like 2 episodes, but it's whatever. Like, he's like, I walked their path. Bro, you walked the path for like 2 weeks, bro. Shut up. You know what I mean? That pissed me off. I was laughing.
I will always ride for Magneto.
Dude, I was laughing so hard. I was like, yo, he's like, Professor Xavier, I walked your path. Yo, I wish I said, bro, you were literally the head of the school for 2 weeks. But I do want to talk about now. I do want to talk about a few people. Number one,
I want to talk about Morph.
Go ahead.
There is no purpose for the character of Morph in that show.
Is it because they could stop everything? No, if they wanted to?
I think Morph is there because of, something being prioritized other than storytelling. And I have a problem with that.
So I disagree. And the only reason why I do not agree is because the same reason why Morph is there is the same reason why Franklin is in the Fantastic Four. And I also think that they're using Morph to like give you like beats of like other characters, just like how they did the Hawk, etc. But because in my opinion, more the way I see Morph is Morph could technically fix everything because he can transform into anyone and use their powers. So like that's the only thing and because what I've been seeing on X is they're like, yo, Morph can just transform into Magneto and it just fix
Yeah,
everything. And
but other than like a quick joke in the first episode, they haven't done it. And I'm pretty sure they referred to Morph as like a they or something.
they have it in the
And
show.
oh, they haven't. I thought they did last night.
Nope. Did they haven't? Nope.
No, I'm gonna look that up.
Not that I've heard. all that Rogue said is that Morph was thrown to the wolves or something.
What's crazy is they asked by Stone if he could elaborate as to why, despite reportedly being non-binary, Morph still exclusively refers to himself as male. The voice actor said that the production team declined to have him use they them pronouns because it would have been historically accurate, which I'm like kind of happy because this is exactly what I wanted to hear, but it's crazy to me that they like this was actually a serious idea of theirs. But regardless, I just think that they, other than like they should have picked a different character. I just don't think Morph adds much value to the story, regardless of the pronouns.
But whether you put Iceman in there, like he would have taken the side step. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like how in the Justice League show, Hawkgirl is the one that kind of takes the back seat. You know what I mean? And it's just cause, you know what I mean? Like she's an amazing character, but there's just too much going on. And that's kind of how I feel. And I feel like
not everyone gets to be a superstar.
Exactly. And I wouldn't be shocked if other key players join next season, because that's what I think. I think that we are going to see a lot of new X-Men back next season. So, but I really like I really was impressed with the fact that Magneto EMP'd the whole planet, man. That was actually really funny to me. Because if you think about it, right, the people that Magneto killed in this moment, number one, he killed anybody that was in a hospital that was either getting operated on or anyone that was like on life support. All that stuff goes down and you're done, right? All of the planes run on electricity. It means that all of those planes have crashed. So Magneto alone, by just EMPing the whole planet, dude is responsible for billions of deaths, which is hilarious. Well, it's not hilarious, but it's just funny that like Magneto did that. And then, Magneto ends up going, to he obviously ends up building a new, mutant spot in space, which was super cool. But man, it was just super awesome to see Professor X and Magneto going at it again, talking and just really like putting ideology against ideology. I was really, 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 really enjoying that. And something that we are also seeing in X-Men 97, which is something that we talked about, I think maybe last week or 2 weeks ago, is that we are going to see Cyclops like progressively go to the other side. And we see that when Cyclops flips out on Professor X, and then we see it later on in the episode when Professor X was trying to get into Magneto's mind and Cyclops shoots at his at Professor X's chair. And he says that, the reason why was because they have a whole other team on an island that's going after Bastion. So, there's like a lot of things going on, but you can really see Cyclops's doubt for sure.
Yeah. I think Cyclops is getting angry, and it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
100%. So now obviously we are getting to the most important part where Magneto is now. Let's just talk about some cool beats that happen. All right. Number one, Magneto put his helmet on top of Professor X's head, which was really cool. So he want to penetrate Magneto's mind. While that happens, Wolverine obviously stabs him. His claws go right through him, and Magneto's like, "So you want to play those games?" And Magneto rips the adamantium out of Wolverine, and then the episode ends. Now, I did a video last night on kind of like what happens after, and how he becomes feral Wolverine and all that stuff. But since you are Comic Cuts, can you dive deep? So I kind of started on, and I didn't finish it, but I started on the fact that the adamantium slowed down Wolverine's healing to an extent, and and when he's feral with Wolverine, he can heal like instantly, right?
Yeah.
And because of the fact that he keeps healing instantly, the more he heals, the more he turns into this like animal.
Right. You know, the more he heals, the more he turns into the animal, and I'm pretty sure it's meant to be that way because, like, there was some stuff done to him, but his mutation is that like he is like an animal, like so that's like kind of how he's supposed to be. But in terms of his, healing, I here's the thing is like I'm trying to figure out how to say this. It doesn't really slow him down in terms of the healing, but like once the striker put the adamantium into his body, his healing factor it's supposed to adapt.
Oh, it adapts to the adamantium.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So it doesn't have like an effect one way or the other. But I do think, and I could be wrong on this, but I do think that the adamantium is supposed to heal anyway. But the thing is like it's very rare you see Wolverine's adamantium get damaged. Like it does take someone with the strength of Magneto to put that on him. And it was crazy because like Wolverine was in brutal pain.
Did that scene shock you?
Yeah, man. I bro, I ride for Magneto. But at that time I was like, damn, I kind of feel bad for Wolverine. But
Yeah.
You step at the king, you best not miss.
Yeah, bro. And this is probably gonna make Magneto lose a lot of faith in a lot of the other mutants because now he's hurting his own kind. So this can make a whole different turn.
They always had even though everyone, I feel like a lot of people overlook the rivalry that Magneto and Logan have.
Yeah, they hate each other.
Because and it's easy to overlook because obviously when you think of Magneto and rivalry, you think of the brotherly rivalry he has with Xavier, but he obviously has that rivalry with Logan too. And even if you like never read an X-Men comic and you just saw the movies, you would have, you had to have noticed the rivalry. I forget which movie it was, but there's one of them when they were on the jet and Logan and Magneto were going at it. I'm pretty sure it's Days of Future Past.
Mm-hmm. Wait, what was it? It might have been Days.
I think it was because it was for that to have happened. Logan had to travel back to the past because it wasn't Ian McKellen; it was Fassbender.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Dragon in Hungry, it was the Hulk. But it was Morph. Morph became the Hulk, and he said Morph smash.
I got to tell you, to see the Hulk and not be Mark Ruffalo makes me have hope for the Hulk.
You're funny, dude. I know you hate Mark.
Yeah,
but yeah,
when I have it out for someone, I have it out for them. And
believe me, I know.
Do not miss my opportunities.
Oh yeah, I know. Strays be caught, but it's all good because that's how I feel about Zachary Levi, bro. Just terrible.
By the way,
people.
Speaking of strays, go to my ex and like my post that I just posted at Jay Oliva because he deserves some shots.
Perfect. Okay.
He's such a square.
Yeah, I can't stand him. Okay, now, so you would say that the ending did shock you. Okay, now in the comics, obviously Professor X loses his mind and shuts Magneto's mind down, and then that's when he absorbs a part of his mind, and then the whole other villain comes in, all that stuff. So,
Mhm.
do you think that in this next episode, Professor X is gonna lose his ish when this happens, or do you think that like Professor X is gonna like because like Professor X is trying to be this peaceful guy, but I feel like this whole situation is going to piss him off to no end.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that? I was so distracted to
Oh, you're
respond to
good.
Hungry.
You're good. I was saying that obviously this happened, right? Because I was saying like, do you think Professor X is going to lose his ish now that he just hurt like Wolverine in the most worst way possible? Because in the comic books he does, and he shuts down Magneto's mind like like a death coma. You know what I mean? So
You
like,
know, it's interesting because the thing about Xavier is he is so level headed. The one area that he's not level headed that also gets overlooked is that Xavier is arrogant. He's like super arrogant and full of himself. It comes out more in the comics, but Fox did a good job of showing that side of Xavier in the earlier parts of X-Men First Class.
with
Like,
McAvoy, yeah, McAvoy was a
yeah,
douche.
yeah, at the bar with Myra and Mystique getting pissed at him, like, that scene I thought was the best. But angry, I don't know. I think he is pretty good at holding his cool when things go sideways. So, maybe he'll get a little mad because it's usually when it's things done to him, he holds his cool about it. And when it's, someone like Logan, he might not be able to.
So you
So I think
wouldn't
it's
be shocked
anyone's
if he
guess.
lost it.
I wouldn't be shocked one way or the other. I could see it going either way. I think it's a 50-50.
Okay, bet. Yeah. So, what would you rank this episode out of 10?
I think this episode was, I would give it like probably an 8.5, maybe a 9. It was definitely one of the better ones.
Yeah. What is your favorite episode been so far in this season?
I would probably say the one where they, like, at the end, Magneto was carrying them and they took away Storm's powers. I think that was the best one.
Oh, that's episode 3. I think it's episode 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are going to say the one where Gambit died. I'm sure that's probably the most common favorite. But for me, I mean, I just love when Magneto was like, he basically said to them, I forget the exact words, but he was
Like,
like,
I could
listen.
kill you.
Yeah, he was like, I am holding back,
Yeah. He took them to
Yeah.
space. He said, look at this. I could have dropped you down. You could just lose all your breath. Like,
Yeah.
he's hilarious, bro. Magneto's funny. Oh my
Yeah.
god. He's a savage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but yeah, we love this show, and this shows how brutal it is, man. The X-Men are really like you thought Thanos fighting Cap and them were brutal. Wait till we see the X-Men. This is going to get really like violent,
Yeah.
very, very violent. So I love everything that they're doing with this show, and this is some of the best Marvel content that we've got in a while.
Yeah.
And I want to give a special shout out to Bo DeMaio, because if you guys don't know, Bo DeMaio, when he picked his writing crew, he only picked people that liked the content. He only picked people that knew X-Men. And so this guy's a really good writer. And I pray that he's and obviously he wrote season 2. I'm pretty sure he's off for season 3. I'm not sure because I already got fired, all this stuff. But I hope that they can work it out. And Bo was someone that you need to have in the room when you're writing the MCU, like X-Men, because it is very clear that this guy understands the X-Men. So this is a guy that you really need in the room. So pretty excited about that. I heard some other content creators say this, but do you think they would do Avenger vs. X-Men and X-Men 97? The rumor is that's coming. So the rumor that I heard is that So next season, no, because we're going to be dealing with Pharaoh, Wolverine, all that stuff, the Phoenix, and all this stuff. And the what is probably going to happen is the Phoenix stuff is going to happen at the end of next season, which will cause Avengers versus X-Men, because the Phoenix Force is pretty much the source of why Avengers versus X-Men happens. So, yeah, I think they can go another season without it. Plus, we also got to take into account, guys, that Bastion is still at large. So, and
Yeah.
we and and we didn't even talk about the fact that we saw Cable use his telepathy powers for the first time like ever, which was pretty awesome.
I don't know which. Oh, I just had a really good screenshot from one of the Hickman comics that they kind of like touched on what really happened in such a simple and short way in each of the different X-Men eras. And, I'm fine with them touching on the classics with X-Men 97. But when it comes to X-Men in the MCU, the reason I don't want to see another Claremont, adaptation, and it's not that I have anything against the Claremont stories. I might be a little biased here because he's my favorite writer, but I think the case for a Krakoa X-Men era in the MCU is so strong right now. Number one, it's fresh. It's never been adapted before. And number two, like, it's such a different take on a comic book story, because for those of you that don't know, so Krakoa is the nation state of the mutants, and it was Xavier and Magneto formed Krakoa to kind of coexist with humans. We're like, we need our own sovereignty and nation state. We've been persecuted forever. This is ours. And it's really cool. They develop their own medicines, and like, they're like, I forget exactly what the medicines do, but they're like cancer curing, like that type of game-changing medicines. And other countries obviously want them, and that helps strengthen Krakoa and Krakoa's position and commerce and everything. And I just think that it's so unique and it's so cool. And especially in like today's world where everyone is paying attention to what's going on politically in the United States, I think that there could be a cool angle there with the politics of Krakoa and the rest of the globe. So I think it would be cool. I don't think people want to see one of the Fox X-Men stories be adapted again. They really did do a lot of the big ones in Fox. Fox went on for a long time. Nobody wants to see Dark Phoenix again, even though they weren't really so successful with it either time. But I would like to see Krakoa. I think Krakoa is really cool, and I think it's unique, and I think it would be fresh.
We'll see. I'm down for either. Obviously, I'm going through Claremont stuff now. Some of it honestly might not fit the times that we're in. Just being real.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Like some of the stuff that Claremont wrote, not sure if that will fly in 2024.
yeah.
Just saying.
I'm also, by the way, so as much as I agree with you on that, I am so sick of, we can't do this because it's 2024. And like, we don't get good comedy movies anymore because of that. People are trying to ruin James Bond. Like, and I think the pendulum is starting to swing back. I think
Tom Brady's roast showed that the world is getting back to the
yeah. The pendulum's coming back to sanity. And I think because of that, I think it'll take some time before Marvel gets there. But I think a lot of the entertainment industry is going back to sanity.
Because let me tell you, after I watched that Tom Brady roast, bro, he came for all of us, man. They came for the blacks, the Jews. They came for all of us, bro. They came for all of us, brother. I was like, look, we equally got cooked.
Yeah.
That joke was funny. All right. And that's how we roll, man. We like comedy, bro. When it comes to comedy, I get it. All you can say it, everyone. I get it. I get it. All right. Let's get to The Rock. Okay, so a lot of people been hating on this. Even on the Den of Nerds, I was dying reading his comments, bro. Like Den of Nerds got cooked for this. What's up?
I have one critique for it, but I think you want to at least open up the floor with this, so I'll let you do it. But I have one big critique on it.
On The Rock?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just read this and then I'll let you flow. So this came out from My Time to Shine. Hello, it's beginning a lot of traction. It says this: Marvel Studios wants Dwayne Johnson to portray Apocalypse in the MCU. All yours, my brother.
So I think The Rock could knock it out of the park as Apocalypse. As a matter of fact, I think he's perfect for Apocalypse. I think he would help sell tickets to an X-Men movie should he play Apocalypse. However, with a lot of the things that he does behind the scenes, if he were to join Marvel, they better get that man in line. He does not get to, show up late and the drama and choose who's in the movie and all of that. If you're going to come to Marvel, leave that stuff at the door and you come and you be a team player. Okay. And if he could do that, I'm happy for him to be in the MCU, but the MCU cannot afford that petty BS right now. And I hate to say it, but the Fast and the Furious franchise for such a long time was on fire, and the wheels started spinning out, no pun intended. And, a lot of that had to do with Vin Diesel and Justin Lin, but I think a lot of it had to do with The Rock also. And, that kind of personality could be like a cancer for the type of operation that Kevin Feige is running.
Okay. Really quick before I tell my opinion. All of The Rock's roles are the same. So was Vin Diesel. The Rock being a team player, LOL, the guy almost took Cody Rhodes WrestleMania main event when he hasn't wrestled, but that was never the plan. The Rock was supposed to play the heel. That's the point. And I would argue what The Rock did in that WrestleMania run is some of the best acting I've seen in my life from The Rock, by the way. The whole point of him taking Cody Rhodes' role was the point of him playing the heel, of being the one that can get anything he wants. Like that was the whole point of The Rock. But okay, so let's talk about The Rock. The Rock has already been signed to Disney for a long time, right? Now, if you guys don't know, The Rock is working on Moana. If you guys don't know, Moana is one of the biggest kid movies out. Okay, he's working on an animated and they're doing a live action. He did Jungle Cruise, which was a really good movie with Emily Blunt. I love that movie. Like, really good movie for kids. And I think that The Rock has never been in a stable he's never been in a film with a stable studio. I don't classify Fast and Furious as a stable studio. They put out bangers.
Bro, you're talking about Universal.
Hold on. Let me cook. Because when I say a stable studio, I'm not talking about Universal. I'm talking about more of Marvel Studios. Like, Kevin Feige is the boss, okay? He's the head honcho. He's Suge Knight, okay? And when The Rock comes in, I'm pretty sure there has to be a conversation like, bro, like, there's nothing you can do, And if he's coming into a movie like X-Men, I'm pretty sure that it should be in the open that he's not going to take all of the screen time, because that's just not going to be possible when you have characters like a Cyclops or Wolverine, and etc. And honestly, I think that putting The Rock in X-Men with such a vast cast, I think that will humble him, but I also think we can see some of the best acting coming from him as Apocalypse, because Apocalypse is a very poetic character as well. He's like, I was really just looking at some Apocalypse comics, just trying to gear up for our pod. You know what I mean? Just seeing some stuff he said, and you probably agree. Some of his lines are, bro, they're very like poetic. You know what I mean? So, and I really think that this can bring out a different side of The Rock that we haven't seen. And so yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. But it all depends on, there has to be a boundary that's set there. And I don't think that The Rock is all bad, because everybody's just been trashing Rock. Like the guy, is consistently putting out films and movies. He's always putting in work. I mean, he's doing his thing. So I'm not here to shame The Rock, but I think he'll be a really good Apocalypse, bro.
Neither am I. And, I have been a fan of The Rock since Stevie was eating Lucky Charms.
Dude,
all right.
I miss me some Lucky Charms.
Yeah, Lucky Charms are good. Not my favorite cereal. My favorite was actually Captain Crunch, but I haven't had that in a long time.
Underrated cereal.
I think it's the best one. But regardless, I think that, listen, I think The Rock is like, you get to, what's that line? They say, once you get to the top, the only direction is down. And I kind of think that's what's going on with The Rock right now. I don't think he's the only actor that plays those games and, is a little demanding. But regardless, he's the actor that people are talking about coming to the MCU. He has a bad reputation when it comes to that kind of thing. And Marvel can't afford that right now. So it's like, yes, I think he would crush it as Apocalypse. And I do think The Rock playing Apocalypse could be like actually the best thing for him, because he is in a place where the only direction for him to go is down. However, if he plays Apocalypse, with I think is like the perfect role for him, he would break the ceiling to the next level. I think that he would start taking on roles as like a supervillain. Like I think that would open up the door for him to be a villain like that in the DCU or Star Wars and these franchises that you get to hear us talk about on Superherocuts podcast. But they have to kind of lay down the law with him from the jump if they're going to bring him on, because they just can't afford that kind of nonsense right now.
And I trust Feige to do that, because even RGJ didn't get his way. You know what I mean? So, and that's kind of why I see it. And if you want to see roles where The Rock, wasn't just a musclehead, watch Red Notice on Netflix. He's not a musclehead that fights. He's actually a detective, really good role. And if you watch Jungle Cruise on Disney Plus, another role where he's a boater, like he's not a fighter. So like there are roles that showcases like Dwayne Johnson not just being the same muscle.
Wasn't he in the new Jumanji too?
Yeah, but he was a muscle guy in that one.
Okay,
but he played an idiot. Oh no, he play as Kevin Hart? Okay, yeah. So basically, like, the guy that was in the personality of Kevin Hart the first time was in The Rock's body. So The Rock acted like Kevin Hart, I think.
Yeah.
Or was he a girl? I forget.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I forget. It's been so long. But yeah, man. I think it could be a hit if everything works well. So we'll see what happens. Okay. So this is a quick reflection on the Superman costume, because you and I obviously talked about this a couple of days ago. Doing great on views, but by the way, during the podcast we just hit 1,150 subs. So shout out to you guys. But
we need more though. So if you
facts.
watched this and you're a fan and you forgot to subscribe, please do.
Facts. So do you feel any different about the Superman costume today?
I think that number one, James Gunn didn't play it safe. I think he's going to play it safe in some aspects of the movie, but I'm starting to think he's going to take some risks, because I think that's just the kind of creative he is. And like, I was talking to Matt about it, and Matt told me his favorite suit is Superman suit is the Rebirth suit. And it's funny because, when you look at the Rebirth suit, it really just looks like a modern take on the classic Superman suit. There's nothing special about it other than the fact that there's no trunks, which it's crazy to call that special because that should be the standard. But, the Superman suit looks like, I'm going to pull it up right now. Suit reveal. I mean, it's crazy because it has a vintage look to it. It looks like something that's been lying around in a closet that he hasn't touched for a really long time. And it looks like he went to battle in that suit and left it on Mama Ken's farm and didn't touch it for a couple decades and went back to it. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like Mama Ken made it. That's what I've said.
A lot of people said that.
I like it. And I've seen other arts about seeing it standing up, and I'm starting to see what they're trying to go for. I think this is one of my favorite suits, man. I can't wait to see it where it's not dirty and he's actually standing up. I'm really excited now. And I agree with because we were talking about this in the group chat. I do think the way James Gunn presented it wasn't the best, but I think that was to prove a point. And that's why I kind of like the way James Gunn was a little risque with that, like, because it's like he's showing us a vulnerable Superman kind of sort of, which I really like. And exactly, I agree. I agree.
A lot of people are saying, oh, James Gunn messed up with the suit reveal. The movie is over. Like, let's play devil's advocate for a second.
Go ahead.
Say the suit really is trash, which it isn't. But let's pretend for a second it is. And let's pretend that photo wasn't a good photo. It doesn't really tell us anything about the movie. And the movie doesn't die on the suit reveal, and the hype for the movie doesn't live or die on the suit reveal. What matters a lot more is that first trailer, not the second trailer, the first trailer. That is where people started to go crazy for the Batman. And I think that's going to be something special once it comes. Listen, I think this photo looks good. I think he looks good in the suit. There are some things I don't like about the suit, specifically the boots and the fact that there are trunks. We can't really see the trunks, but I know that there are trunks there, and I don't like seeing grown men wearing underwear over their pants. I never will. You're never going to tell me on that. I don't want to say I'm normal because I'm not normal. I'm not, like a plain Jane. I'm not boring. I have a personality to me, and I'm not a conformist. But, underwear over pants will never be cool. And, but listen, I think it looks good. I think that the problem with a reveal like this lies in the fact that there are a ton of people on X who are very loud, and they love to post 50 times a day on how great Zack Snyder is, on how bad James Gunn is, and every single thing James Gunn does, literally every single thing he does, they work overtime to spin it as something bad. So listen, I think you're going to find takes like ours, and listen, I think the suit looks cool. I love the Kingdom Come style logo. I like the material. I like that it kind of looks vintage. I love the cosmic ship in the back, or we don't really know what it is, but I think it looks super cool. And I like that we're going to see bright colors in a Superman movie, and obviously special effects are going to be present, which are one of the big hallmarks on comic book movies. It looks like we're going to see the type of Superman movie that we should be seeing in 2024. And, you know, if there's a bunch of people that don't have the ability to see that for what it is, you know, I'm not going to apologize that I'm not an idiot. All right.
Yeah. Also, and as I said, they did the same thing with the Batman, bro. They did the same thing with the Batman. When Matt Reeves dropped that teaser of the Batman costume when it was like all dark and all we saw really was just the cow. I remember, I was on my old podcast. It was a Super Post podcast with me, Corey, and Jonathan, and I literally got roasted saying he's not Bill, he's not Affleck, and then all over Twitter it was just Affleck posts compare like this is my Batman, he's husky versus this skinny behind Batman, and what happens? The Batman does 800 million in the box office, so we can talk all we want. But the reality is the same people that are trashing this were the same ones that trashed the Batman, and the Batman literally started a movement, bro. And I expect to see the same thing with a Superman, bro. So because I mean, I'm not sure if everyone here remembers, but the Batman got cooked, bro. Like when
So
that costume reveal happened, he got destroyed.
I want to show you something. So there is this kid. He blocked me on X. Okay, and
Is it Film
he
Odyssey?
oh, I didn't know he blocked me. I don't even know who that is.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
It's all right. Hold on. Where is this stupid? He's a cosplayer,
Oh god.
and I just want to show you. He paid money for this. What the hell is this stupid? Okay, so this guy is trashing that suit. He paid money for this suit, went, took a photo, and posted this, and he thinks it looks good. And this guy, he thinks this looks good, and the suit we just showed you looks bad. Okay? Look at that cowl.
Well, that's bad.
That is so bad. I mean, that is the goofiest thing I've ever seen. And he's got a couple cowls. They all look silly. Like,
is he hating on the Superman?
yeah.
Yeah, bro. I mean, it's just and Hungry Almighty. I'm actually working on a video on this. That I'm probably gonna record like Saturday or something. But I am making a video on the fact that this is not the final suit that we're going to see in the end of the film. I do think that this is a suit that we're going to see early, and I think Jarrell is going to put him in some new threads. So I 100% agree. I expect to see a new suit, but by the end, and for them to make small tweaks, but for them to pretty much keep that same style, because we all know that nowadays in superhero films, people don't really keep the same costumes, so there's always going to be changes. So yeah,
Listen, I think the suit looks good. David Corn's sweat got huge in a matter of like 6 months.
Yeah, he looks
and
big.
Yeah,
and he's 6'4". He's tall, bro. He's 6'4", dude.
And listen, people in this game, like guys like James Gunn, don't come around all that often. Okay, and the fact that we have him directing Superman and spearheading the DCU is something special. So I'm going to enjoy it from beginning to end. I think if you're one of the people who are on the fence on him, or you won't accept that he's doing this because you're upset Zack Snyder didn't get the job, there's going to be a time where you end up becoming a fan of the DCU, and you might as well start enjoying it now, because you're going to enjoy it, and you're going to be putting your foot in your mouth a little bit when you end up enjoying the DCU, and you're going to be like, I wish I just let myself enjoy it from the beginning.
Because as much as I hated BVS, I still went and watched it. They still got my money.
Yeah.
Still enjoyed it, even though I hated it.
By the way, I don't think BVS is as bad as people say. I actually kind of enjoy it. I think the Ultimate Edition is better than, the original, obviously. But that's part of the Zack Snyder problem. But regardless, I wasn't like, oh, Zack Snyder shouldn't be making this movie.
I just have I have my gripes with BVS. Not enough Batman, but we'll talk about that another time. I think Ben Affleck's the worst Batman of all. No, Yeah, I think he's the worst Batman of all time. Anyways, we're not gonna go down this road. Hungry Almighty, the same people complaining about the Superman suit are the same people that probably say Robin is goofy and wouldn't work in the Batman trilogy. You're probably right, bro. And if you all know, I love Robin. So whoever says that, you got to catch a smoke from me. All right,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so it was reported that Ben Affleck met with the MCU for a role. Okay. And there has been rumors that Ben Affleck is reportedly casted as Doctor Doom in the MCU, and there are two other names that have been circulating. Mad Mikkelsen and Killian Murphy, okay,
It's
have also
Mads.
Mads.
Yeah.
Oh, Mads Mikkelsen and Killian Murphy have also been paired with Ben Affleck to be possibly taking the role of Doctor Doom. So, but before we get to Killian and Mads, how do you feel about Ben Affleck taking the role of Doctor Doom?
I'll tell you why I don't like it. Not that I don't think first of all, I think he would crush it. But I feel like Ben Affleck is a big complainer. Like he complained a lot with Batman, and I just don't think he's had the right energy, and I just don't think he enjoys doing superhero movies. Aside from that, I love Mads Mikkelsen. So Mads Mikkelsen is one of the most underrated actors, and I think it's just because he's not American and people haven't seen him in so many things. But he is in three things that I'm going to name to you that you've at least seen probably two of the three. So number one, he played Le Chiffre who's the villain in Casino Royale. He was incredible. He was the one that James Bond sat across while playing the poker game. Remember the Weeping Eye? Number two, he was one of the main characters in Hideo Kojima's Death Stranding video game. And if you know anything about Hideo Kojima, his video games are really like movies with the cutscenes and how intricate they are. And he was incredible in that. And number three, he was the villain. I'm blanking on the name right now, but he was the villain in Doctor Strange. I think that Mads Mikkelsen would, first of all, I think I love Killian. Don't get me wrong. And I want to see Killian in something. And I think Killian would crush it as Doctor Doom. But I think Mads Mikkelsen was like born for this role. I mean, the guy just has bona fide villain energy. And like, if you just look at him, I mean, he would be a vicious and powerful Doom. Listen, I like Killian. I like Ben Affleck. I don't like him for the role. I just think that as great as Killian is, like Mads Mikkelsen is perfect for it.
Ben Affleck is a one-off movie guy. He's not the guy that you want to cast for multiple films. That's just not the kind of guy that he is. I just saw the movie with him and Matt Damon. It was about them would sign them to like Nike or something like that's those Air. Those are roles that you want to see Ben Affleck. Like Ben Affleck playing a head coach of a basketball team. That's Ben Affleck. I think he's built for those biopic, documentary films. And I think Ben Affleck is a great actor, but when you're talking about trying to build something in the MCU, I think Killian will be the perfect guy. Mostly because I just think that Killian is the youngest, and I also think that I just think that Killian can bring something different to the role that's never been seen before. And after watching Peaky Blinders, it's seeing Killian go to these levels of like showing resilience, but also like I will get to what I need. I will do what I need to do by any means necessary. That character of Tommy Shelby isn't far from Doctor Doom. Like personality wise, they're the same guy. So I think that Killian would really honor, and I think he would kill that role. And I think that Killian as Doctor Doom would be looked at as the greatest villain of all time. And I think that Mads Mikkelsen would kill it. I think that he's a great actor. And I think that he would be another great option. Just to talk about this, like Mads Mikkelsen He was in Fantastic Beast, and I think he was amazing in that film. I'm pretty sure he took Johnny Depp's role as Grindelwald. I think I forget.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember that actually. You're
and
right.
I think that Mads,
He also played Hannibal Lecter.
yeah, like Mads is just an amazing actor, and I think that if we're talking about availability, that might be the guy that you want to go with because Killian is also doing a Peaky Blinders film, which is probably going to launch into a whole bunch of other stuff. So we also got to take that into account. So yeah, but between Mads and Murphy, I think both of those casts are a W. I think they're interchangeable, and I don't care who gets cast. But if I had it my way, Killian's who I'm going after first.
Oh, I am like so in disagreement with you because I love Mads Mikkelsen and I think he would crush it. Like I also think this is the kind of role that could make Mads Mikkelsen a household name.
For sure. I think he would kill it. I think he would kill. If Ben Affleck is doomed, then the Snyder cult are going to have a heart attack knowing all hope of Affleck coming back is going. Not there was any hope.
There is no hope of Affleck. Affleck coming back, hope is non-existent. It's already non-existent. Sorry,
the second he married J Lo, it became non-existent.
Yeah.
He's with, yeah. What's up?
And I'm not like a celeb follower or anything, but I happen to have seen a couple different instances where the paparazzi catch them out together, and every single time he looks miserable.
Yeah,
he looks like he hates his life.
I think he has an RBF, bro. I think he has a resting B-word face. To be honest, because he's been like that forever. But dude, he's been like that forever, dude. He's been like that forever. He's always had these weird phases. Even when he was with the other chick, bro, he had Anna de Armas too, bro. Ben Affleck got Riz, bro. Ben Affleck got Riz.
Yeah,
he's him. He's him. Did you see that movie with him and Anna de Armas where he's like a cuck?
No,
it's called Deep Water.
Bro, I can't believe he played a cuck. I just lost so much respect for him. You don't do something like that.
Yeah. So
that's not okay.
Yeah. So basically, bro, his wife would sleep with like other men, and then he would kill them.
Bro, that's so weird.
Yeah.
You don't do that. That's just not cool.
Me and my wife watched it, and we were like, "Yo, this is kind of disturbing." Yeah. So if you're ever out, bro, and they ask to turn on, just say no. All right.
Yeah, they were probably like, "Yo, Ben, listen, we need you to play a cuck." Like he was like, "All right, I owe you."
Yeah, yeah, a cuck / serial killer. That's what it was. Really weird. Okay, I'll let you take. I'll let you talk about this obviously because Bob Iger talked about some of the new stuff going forward with Marvel Studios.
So Bob Iger said, I forget the numbers, but basically there was like 2 or 3 movies a year, 2 or 3 Disney Plus series a year, and that's it. We're not doing any more when it comes to Marvel. I think that there is a reason they're doing this that a lot of people are overlooking. I think that this is a media thing. I think that they are seeing that if they put out a large number of projects in a year and a couple of them don't land, you create a 12-month period where every time Marvel's in the headlines, it's about box office blunders or low streaming numbers and superhero fatigue. And I think that they're seeing that if they spread it out differently and Marvel's performance isn't always in the news, you're not going to create the narrative of Marvel is flopping at the box office, superhero fatigue, and everyone's looking down on Marvel. And I think the reason is because I think Marvel recognizes something. I think they recognize that when they release a movie and it's popular to say Marvel's not doing well, that movie it impacts how the movie is received. Meaning they could put out the same project, and if Marvel is perceived to have been doing well, people receive their projects better. And if Marvel is not perceived to be doing well, people receive the projects worse. It's not fair. It's ridiculous, but people are stupid. Okay. And it's like, it's similar to how we always say Black Widow would have done better if it came out a couple years prior. But I think Marvel recognizes that, and I think they're adapting to it.
Yeah, so I think that this is obviously a great decision. I think the main reason why they're downsizing is because it's so Kevin Feige can have a handle on everything that's going on. I think one of the biggest issues, bro, was that, and I don't blame Feige because as a leader, your job is to try to copy yourself in other people, right? So then they can do it. So I understand what they're trying to do, right? Feige felt like he copied himself into Victoria Alonso and those other people on his team. And he was like, okay, I've copied myself. Now go copy me. Do what I do. And it failed. And, as a company, you do some ish, it fails, and that's just the reality. And so that didn't work. And so they got to go back to their roots, which is, it just seems like Feige is really focused right now, and it seems like Feige has a sizable hand on each project. Because let's just talk about this now. When I look at Deadpool and Wolverine, it looks perfect. When I look at I'm not Falcon. When I look at these shots from Captain America: Brave New World, each shot looks meticulous. When I look at Sam's costume, when I look at what Anthony Mackie's saying, it's kind of bringing me back to that thought of like, oh, like, Kevin Feige is really putting his life and care into this. Now, we are gonna have to eat some trash though. I mean, because Agatha is still coming out. I literally just saw some branding for it, and I get it. As a company, you put millions of dollars into making this project. You gotta do what you gotta do. I get it. And I hope that there's enough changes to push the story forward. I'm probably not gonna watch it, just being real. Probably being real. But so we're gonna have to eat some more trash with Agatha. But if we're talking about the movie wise, I do see hope there, and I seem very happy with what they're doing. So I really like this 2 to 3 movie strategy. It just gives Feige more of a hand. And Jerry, do you know what this also does?
What?
Putting Marvel Studios to a 3 movie thing and a 2 show a year. Number one, it's going to make them work more side characters into their movies and shows like they were doing before. And this takes away the idea of having a side character project like an Echo, like an Agatha, because now you're going to have to work them around your main character like the original formula was. I mean, that was the original formula, was having Captain America, Winter Soldier with Falcon and Bucky. You know what I mean? So I think that there's a lot of pros coming out of that.
It's funny you say that, because sometimes I could read a lot of different comic runs at once, and one day I'll read another, I'll read a different one, and I'll switch them around. But at the same time, like, I would never waste my time reading a character that I'm not interested in. Like I wouldn't read, for example, I like the Miss Marvel show, okay? But I wouldn't read a Miss Marvel comic. I just wouldn't go out of my way to do that. And I think it's the same kind of thing. I just think, like, they need to make shows and movies about characters that are going to sell well, and they can't be making stuff. And by the way, they better stop doing things like sidelining characters for Doctor Strange for America Chavez, because now if they're going to only have 3 movies a year, 2 shows a year, you only have that much runtime to make your stars pop out. Like, nobody wants these B characters. Nobody cares about them. And it's just so ridiculous that, like, we're even having this conversation about characters like America Chavez and, or like, we don't have T'Challa. It's just like, it's just so stupid. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
And a lot of it comes from, like, stupid fandom, man.
Yeah. The only side character that deserved their own project was Falcon.
I was going to say the same.
Out of all the people, Falcon's the only one. Falcon earned his way to being an A-list character, and that's the only one that I've seen. Anthony Mackie played his role. Anthony Mackie and he played the side character well. I mean, he did,
Yeah.
and he's the only one that I feel that earned that earned that.
And
Everybody else,
technically, the Punisher, because he was a side character in Daredevil, and even though that happened under Netflix, it's a good example of someone who was a side character who was a breakout star. But the thing is, the Punisher was never meant to be a side character.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, man. So, bro, I agree, man. I think that, but I do think that less is more, and with less, it makes him say, "Hey, I can't mess this up. I can't miss." You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and that was how it was when we had Iron Man, Captain America, the first Avenger, and Thor 1. You couldn't miss. And to be honest, the movies weren't that great until we got Avengers 1. And then after Avengers 1,
I disagree. I was loving the MCU when those movies came out. I couldn't get over how good they were.
No, but I'm saying like quality. Like if we're talking about Winter Soldier quality from first Avenger, like I think the Marvel itself took a step up in quality, and they were just able to do more because they had more cash.
I disagree. I think there were some movies that stepped it up in quality, but I don't think that most of them were better than the first three, meaning Iron Man, Captain
You're not
America,
even that high on the first Avenger.
What?
You're not even that high on the first Avenger because I like the first Avenger more than you.
I don't know about that. I liked the first Avenger. When did I ever shit on the first Avenger? I thought it was a great movie.
I'm not saying you crapped on it, but you said something like the first Avenger isn't like the thing, like, you know what I mean? Because you said you like Thor 1 more than Cap first Avenger.
Yeah, I don't know. I just really liked Thor when it came out. Maybe I did say it, but I
forget.
Just because I like Thor more than first Avenger doesn't mean I don't like first.
Oh my guys, I'm not saying it wasn't good. All right, let me rephrase because I love Iron Man 1. I love Captain America first Avenger, but I just think that the quality of movies took a really jump up after Avengers 1. And it's the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth. Like, you guys can get mad at me all you want. I think it's true. I think there was a big jump in quality. That's my opinion. And it is because you have more characters in the fold, and you're just able to do more. I think when you introduce people like Falcon and Bucky, and Bucky comes back, and then you put freaking Natasha Romanoff in your film, I think that just it boosted. Even Iron Man 3, I think Iron Man 3 was good. I mean, obviously Thor Dark World was.
It's funny because what you're talking about is you're saying that it stepped up after Avengers 1 with the Winter Soldier, but what else came out around that time?
What?
Was Thor the Dark World.
Underrated film.
Iron Man 3. Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I'm looking at the chronological order. Hold on. Let me look at the release order. These website and their stupid fucking ads. I can't even find you because I don't have the patience.
It's all good, bro. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah. But yeah, bro. But I mean, look, it's just that I think quality did go up for sure. Not to mention Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, we're in space, dude. We're going through it, man. It was awesome.
This might be controversial, but you know what I think about Guardians of the Galaxy? I think the first one is the worst of the three.
What is your favorite one?
I'm not sure. It's probably 3. But I love Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I think 2 is superior to 1. 2 might be my favorite.
2 is the most fun. Is the most fun to watch.
Yeah, 2 is the most fun to watch.
But a lot of people don't like Guardians 2. That's the funny thing. A lot of people.
I know
like
it's crazy to me. It's crazy. 2 is so good, and the final battle scene. Oh, that was so cool when they're like flying, and yeah, man.
Yeah, I love Guardians 1, but Guardians 2 is my favorite because it's just fun. It's a fun movie, man. It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
And then we get them in freaking Avengers. And then but I will first say the best Guardian we saw was them in Avengers, dude. That was so fun with them and Thor. I wish we got Thor.
Yeah.
I wish we got Thor in Guardians film, to be honest. I would have honestly taken that as Thor 4. Give me a Thor.
Well, it's funny because when they were doing the marketing and the trailers for Thor: Love and Thunder, and everyone was so hyped because the Guardians of the Galaxy were in it, and they were in it for all 4 seconds,
Yeah,
and it was the worst movie ever.
Bro, would you have been fine if we got to ask Guardians of the Galaxy film, and that just would have been Thor 4?
Why? I'm confused as to why we have to take a shitty Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Huh?
I thought you said would you have been fine if we got an ass Guardians of the Galaxy?
Oh, sorry, I spaced out too much. Ask Guardians of the Galaxy, like Asgardians.
I would prefer that as to whatever Love and Thunder was.
Yeah,
Love
because like,
so
I mean,
bad.
why not? Because you get that you take us into Guardians 3. I would have been fine with that, bro. Honestly,
Yeah. And let me tell you, it was a little sus what they did with Thor in some of the scenes in Love and Thunder.
yeah, I just like the camaraderie that they built in Infinity War was so perfect, and they just lost it, bro. Just lost it. So, all right, now this is my rant. Now, Star Wars Tales of the Sith. Okay, let's talk about this crap. Okay, so I watched Star Wars Tales of the Sith, and I was very disappointed in what they did. Okay, so this is my soapbox right now. We are about to talk about Star Wars for next maybe like 10 to 15 minutes. Star Wars Tales of the Jedi was one of the greatest shows I've ever seen in my life. You know why? Because we got to take a look into Count Dooku, and it really built the groundwork for how Count Dooku left the Jedi. We got an Ahsoka origin story. We got a lot of really good stuff out of there. Why is it that when we do Tales of the Sith, it's about Morgan Elsbeth, when we just got a whole Ahsoka show about her? Barriss, where I get people love Barriss, but why does it have to be about her? Inquisitors, all this stuff. And then we barely see Darth Vader. And this is called Tales of the Sith. What we wanted to see, I wanted to see. Why didn't we get a Darth Plagueis episode? Why didn't we see young Palpatine? Why didn't we see Darth Revan? If we're talking about Tales of the Sith, you got to bring the legendary Sith Lords from the past and some Darth Vader. But you do these corny behind stories to push your narrative for the Ahsoka show, where you could have put this stuff in the Ahsoka show. So I am really upset with what Dave Filoni did with this, because I was expecting them to give us stories of characters that we've only read about. You know, like I've only read about Darth Revan, and I've seen video games about him. I never got to see him on screen. And this is where I think Star Wars is messing up, because Star Wars has cool characters, and they literally are benching them for these random, random behind characters to push their narrative and story. Why hasn't there been a story yet about Tar freaking Vizsla, the Mandalorian Jedi? There's a Mandalorian Jedi out there, and there has yet to be a Star Wars story told about him. Why? Like, those are the cool things that people want to see. And when you make these shows about these random behind characters who mean nothing, who aren't interesting, it really kills the vibe. And so, you know, that really killed my freaking May 4th, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. It really did. It pissed me off to no end. So I am not happy with Star Wars. With the way that they did that. Now, the Phantom Menace being in theaters, shout out to that, bro, because that was amazing. A lot of people went. I actually watched like 4 movies straight at home. Wifey even joined me. She was into it. I think she came in when I was watching Revenge of the Sith. That she was like into it. So really good stuff. But Star Wars, like, you guys have to understand, man, that you have good characters. It isn't like you guys don't have anybody. Like, bro, Darth Revan, bro, is literally like he wears his mask. I mean, he has a cool lightsaber. I mean, dope characters. And you sideline them for these kids. So, yeah, man, Star Wars, man, you guys got to get it together. And Dave Filoni, I'm disappointed in you, bro. There's no way you deliver us that trash on National Star Wars Day. There's no way you freaking do that.
That was him?
Huh?
He was responsible for Tales of the Sith.
He is responsible for anything in that animation style, because these are his stories. Now, other people wrote on it and stuff, but he's the one that has built the lore for all of these characters.
Filoni, you were the chosen one. You were supposed to bring balance to the Force, to the Sith, not join it.
Yeah, bro, they're just pissing me, bro. It's just very frustrating, bro, because like there's hope. I mean, look, you're gonna build up the Mandalorian thing. I'm hyped for the Mandalorian movie. I'm hyped for Ahsoka season 2. Like there's good stuff coming out, but it's like it's National Star Wars Day, bro. People have been begging for these Sith Lords to be on screen.
Yeah, this is crazy.
And you tease Darth Vader and don't give us a Darth Vader episode?
It's so crazy because, like,
it's not fair, brother. It's not fair, man.
You have one of the best IPs in the game. You paid so much money for it, and you're just like lighting it on fire. It's so crazy,
bro. Arguably one of the arguably the greatest IP of all time. Arguably,
bro. This is going to be studied in the future, like as a master class in IP
on how to punch yourself in the balls. That's what it is. How to punch yourself in the balls. That's how I feel, dude. I felt punched in the nuts, honestly, bro. I've been honest, bro. It killed my vibe because I was really looking forward. Because, bro, when you watch Tales, if you watch Tales of the Jedi, you will be fully into it. It's fire.
But I never would watch a Tales. Like, I don't like one-off stories, and I also think that was a terrible decision. Like, either make a season that's a cohesive, consistent story, or don't make anything at all. I mean, Tales, like, what?
Yeah. No. Tales is a amazing idea because they answer a lot of questions that people have. So like a lot of people, so like that's why the Count Dooku story is so awesome, because people think like why did Count Dooku leave the Order, and it gives us the whole background of how that happens, because you see that when you see him find out that Qui-Gon dies and he leaves the Order, like it's fire. Like, it's super awesome.
Yeah.
Like a lot of stuff made sense, but with this one, it made no sense, bro. It was just random stories.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Big L's.
Yeah.
A lot like what I think. What If is. Just saying.
Right. Is that a pen?
It is a pen. It's just green. So it's green, so it's blending in with my green screen.
Oh, okay. It's like a writing pen or a vape pen?
It's a writing pen.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like vaping like me. I was
there's that little pen thing right here.
Okay.
Nah. No smoke, brother. Wait. So do you just breathe it in and then it just stays here? Oh, there you go. Okay,
I could do both. I could, you could either like let it die before you exhale, or you could exhale.
Oh, bet. Okay. All right. So yeah. So we're gonna end it here tonight. Thank you guys for watching, man. A lot of good news out today. Man, just like, subscribe, ring the notification bell so you know when we post. We're gonna get that Iron Man video out next week for if you guys want to join our paid subs. I did pull it off for a second because I did want to edit some of the verbiage there. So it'll be back up tomorrow. But we love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Stay crispy and peace out.
Peace.